Morning, guys. Starting to get into that winter mode. Got me a nice hoodie on. My hair is black, but I've just woke up, so I'm like not even ready to speak or to go on the laptop. I have no choice because kids are asleep, and now's my opportunity to quickly do a 30-minute video before they run down and demand orders. Do this, do that. Then the wife runs down, do this, do that. So before that happens, I thought we're going to talk about Priscilla. Now, I got myself a nice cup of tea, which obviously makes me happy. I love a cup of tea. I love coffee as well. I tend to have a tea first, no sugar, full fat milk. Remember, I'm on carnivore diet, keto diet. The more fat, the better, as long as it's saturated. No vegetable fat, no margarine. We must have butter. Fatty meat and eggs and fish. That's my diet. That's how I stay healthy. I do have a little bit of veg sometimes, a little bit of fruit sometimes, a few nuts sometimes, but that's it. That's how I cured myself. If anyone wants to understand it, look up the keto diet or the carnivore diet. Look up Dr. Ken Berry. You can transform your life. You can make yourself well again. But that's not why we're here. This is defending Elvis Presley. Now I've had I've been getting a tough time, guys, from different places. It's pretty normal for my life. So we ended the video last night when we were discussing Priscilla, and I was basically saying it's game over for Priscilla. It's game over. The brainwashing has ended. And some of you think, oh no, they're still all kissing her ass. They're still all worshipping her. Yeah, they are. But things have changed. Now people don't trust her. Now people are like, what is she really up to? Does she want power? Is power and money all that matters to her? Fame, success. Obviously, we know that Priscilla, since her poor daughter has died, Lisa Marie, who we adore, has carried on as if nothing has changed. You go back and watch any interview, nothing has changed. She's getting on with life. She's very happy, smiley and laughing. She has been for a couple of years. Very tiny glimpses of grief. Now, I know I come across a bit cold when I talk about, someone else grieving over the loss of their daughter. Of course, it's uncomfortable for me. I always think about Lisa. I always think it's like when I talk about Elvis-related topics. I always think, well, what would Elvis think? Would he approve? Would he be okay with it? How would he feel? So it doesn't matter what topic we bring up, what family, what member of the family, what ex-girlfriend, ex-wife, ex-friend. I always think, because obviously sometimes I feel bad, I've got a conscience. Sometimes it'll affect my sleep. Sometimes it keeps me up. I'm like, am I doing the right thing? Yeah? I have those moments, probably every day. But then I think, what about Elvis? How would he feel? Is it fair to him? He can't defend himself. Elvis can't jump up and go, don't do that. I don't agree with that. That's not right. That never happened. That's not fair to me. Elvis can't do that. The only people that can do it really are the fans, because Lisa used to do it, but she was always careful how she did it. She was an amazing defender. Gladys would have done it, yeah. Vernon would do it. In fact, he did. When there was a problem with the Memphis Mafia, when 3 of them lost their jobs, Vernon wrote his letter. Remember this book, Elvis, What Happened? the guys that portrayed Elvis. Recently, one of them having his ass kissed at the dojo, the Tiger Man dojo, which I don't agree with, but I love the dojo. As I keep saying, I'm a fan of Spy Guy. I don't agree with everything he does. Same goes for Trey. Fan of Trey. Don't agree with everything he does, but I like the dojo. So what would Elvis think? You know, Dave Hebler sat in the dojo surrounded by Elvis fans kissing his ass. Elvis would be like, what are you guys doing? What is going on? So I think about, you got poor Lisa Marie. Yeah? So Priscilla is carrying on as if nothing's happened. There's a couple of little glimpses of, like, there's a slight thing on Piers Morgan's show. But generally, Priscilla has shown no grief. I don't like even saying that, but it's true. Yeah. There's many things on YouTube, Comic-Con events, when they're signing stuff, personal question and answer events. She's happy, getting on with life. 80 years old, still raking it in. Money comes first. She's fighting the lawsuits with Bridget Cruz. Massive lawsuit because Priscilla allegedly changed her mind on these massive contracts that were designed by Bridget Cruz and her associates, Kevin Fialco, to make Priscilla lots of money, to make Bridget Cruz lots of money. Let's face it, guys. Bridget Cruz and Priscilla had a plan. Let's make lots of money. The plan didn't work out. I think I'm trying to be respectful because Bridget Cruz does phone me. But sometimes ambition goes too far. Yeah. The need for more money, the greed for more money. You know, it's a typical entrepreneur business thing, isn't it? Sometimes it will go too far. And I think with Bridget and Priscilla, it went too far. I do think Bridget was involved in things before they fell out that the fans wouldn't like. But Bridget is not Priscilla. We must remember that. I know that there's people that are very unhappy with Bridget, don't like Bridget, don't trust her, but she ain't Priscilla. Yeah. Okay, Bridget has made a few mistakes, all in the name of business and making money, and probably being friends with a very well-known celebrity like Elvis's wife, ex-wife. Yeah. Things like that. I think Bridget was taken in a bit. I think she, I kind of say it, she was a bit starstruck. I really believe that. And that she mixes with celebrities. She's a very successful person. But I think when it came to Priscilla, there was something about Priscilla that got under Bridget's skin. Yeah. I'm not even having a go at Bridget. I think Bridget did grow to like Priscilla. Really like her. Like, love her. Family member. They would mix. Their families would mix. She's told me. Priscilla's family and Bridget's family would mix. They would. Her own children. The grandkids of Priscilla got on very well with Bridget. Yeah, this is what I've been told. Yeah. So I'm waking up slowly. It's very early. It's like 7:15 in the morning. Everyone is asleep. The whole house is asleep. Welcome to my little kitchen, my Elvis corner. So I said to someone last night, do you know what? I think it's all over with Priscilla. The cat's out of the bag. The world know that something isn't right with Priscilla. I really believe that. She's still getting her ass kissed. Many people, I would say millions of people are not brave enough, and I don't mean that to be offensive, to stand up to Priscilla and just say the fact that it could be true what they're saying. It still needs to be proved. This whole unplugging of Lisa, this do not resuscitate. The fact that really Lisa's wishes was that she did want to be resuscitated, but Priscilla made a decision based on many factors to do not resuscitate. We don't know all the facts. Everything I'm saying is alleged for entertainment purposes, not fact. We're having a discussion. the biggest question I think at the moment that's asked is where Riley comes into this. We do have a timeline of what exactly went on. I can read it out to you, but not now. Now, this has gone around the world. Bridget Cruz makes her a $50 million announcement on the lawsuit and makes these very serious allegations in a lawsuit that is all about money. Yeah. So this isn't a criminal allegation. For you people out there that absolutely hate Priscilla, and there's a lot of you, I don't hate. I keep saying that we are not a hate channel. I don't hate. I have strong feelings about Priscilla. I'm very upset with Priscilla. I struggle even. It's hard not to hate when you know what we know. Yeah. But it is still to be proven. Bridget Cruz has told me she can prove everything she said. So let's see what happens. So last night I was saying the world, everything's changed for Priscilla. The world don't trust her now. You guarantee you in all the tabloids, magazines, the TV news clips, any interviews that she does from now on will be scrutinized. You know, Bridget Cruz, as she said, Priscilla wanted to be the Queen of Graceland. She saw an opportunity for power. This is what is basically being said. But then it goes back further. The storyline going way back to when, before, when Vernon dies, Elvis's dad. The storyline is basically that it's always been about fame and power, and actually more than that, money and men. Because I really do believe that when Priscilla entered Elvis's world, Priscilla liked her men, in my opinion. If you track the history, even going way back to Child Bride, she liked her men, guys. I know that's, don't know, it's an uncomfortable thing to say, but it's true. Have any of you read Child Bride? Try reading it. There is an alternate world, different than the fairy tale. The fairy tale that Priscilla wrote in 1985. The fairy tale that describes the meeting, a chance meeting, because of Cary Grant introducing Priscilla to Elvis at his house in Bad Neuheim that he was renting, and he had friends and family staying whilst he served his military service for his country. Elvis loved his country. Elvis was proud to serve for his country. Now remember, Elvis had other girlfriends in Germany, as many as 4, some people say. He was still seeing Anita Wood. He'd been seeing Anita Wood for a while. Anita Wood and Elvis were very close. They had a beautiful romance. At first, Elvis didn't like the fact that Anita wasn't coming to Bad Neuheim. Some people say that was Colonel Tom Parker's fault. He stopped her from coming. I don't really know the truth. I think at first Elvis really missed Anita. We've read the book. I'll read the book again, guys. Certain parts of it. The book does show, let me just see where it is. The book does show a beautiful romance. It really does. Yeah. Once Upon a Time with Anita and Elvis. I can't see the book. And there we go. Let's get the other book as well. Sorry, guys. So obviously I've just mentioned Child Bride. There's a very different story in this book. Some of it's alleged. A lot of the things in here were actually proven. Priscilla was not the sweet, innocent virgin that we're all told about. The storyline of Priscilla meeting Cary Grant isn't as it seems. It wasn't a chance meeting. Priscilla had heard about Cary Grant and knew that he knew Elvis. She approached Cary Grant. The whole story's upside down when you say that. Instead of the fake fairy tale that has been put in this book, just an opinion, guys, we're sharing, yeah? not a fact. Because of the fake fairy tale, everyone's fallen for the fact that, oh yeah, Priscilla was there, just minding her own business. A stranger approaches her, Cary Grant, who was married. Would you like to meet Elvis? Have you heard of Elvis Presley? Then her reaction is, who hasn't? Yeah. But there's a possibility that the story was different. Cary Grant had nothing to do with walking over to this 14-year-old girl that was sat on her own, minding her own business. But Priscilla had a plan to meet Elvis. Cary Grant was part of her plan. She'd heard about Cary Grant. She approached him. Can you introduce me to Elvis? Then you see it all differently. So just so you know, guys, this is a beautiful book. Unfortunately, the romance goes wrong. Of course, it has to. We know the history, don't we? Yeah. But they did have a beautiful romance. Anita and Elvis, and there's love letters in there as well that I may read out one day. Unfortunately, you do see the relationship unravel. The bottom line is Elvis was not ready to settle down. He was too young. Life was just opening up for him. There was way too much temptation out there. So poor Anita was always gonna come out of this worse off. And then you have the chance meeting of Priscilla, which did affect things. It did. Elvis was strucken by how beautiful Priscilla was, but it was not a romance. Priscilla tries to portray that she met Elvis at 14 in this chance meeting, and they just had this full-on romance until the day they divorced in 1973. That is not correct. That is not the truth. So why have the public fallen for it? The public fell for this iconic romance, this beautiful romance. Even before this book came out in 1985, when Priscilla realized she could rewrite history, as she puts it, she can wrong the rights, put wrongs to right. And the public believed every word she said and fell for it, like hook, line and sinker. They were brainwashed, tricked, convinced. The public were very gullible. It was easy for Priscilla to have the public eating out of the palm of her hands. A very stunningly beautiful, innocent-looking young lady that had fooled the world into thinking everything was Elvis's fault, and she was an innocent victim. And it has stayed that way for 50 years, is it? Work it out. The book came out in 1985. Now, when they first split up in 73 was when it was final. They actually split up, I would say, early 72, when Elvis caught her secretly seeing Mike Stone, the karate champion. This was the second time, at least the second time, that Priscilla had been unfaithful. Everyone blames Elvis. I've heard that Elvis, through the first year of the marriage, was faithful. She was pregnant. Another lie. She'd lost her virginity on the night of the wedding. Not true as far as I'm concerned. This says something different. An alternate reality. Everything I say is just an opinion for entertainment purposes, not a fact. Just my view on things. So Elvis is pretty much hoodwinked into thinking Priscilla was this sweet, innocent girl. Now, her plan got scuppered because Elvis planned to go back to Graceland in 1960 after he'd served his country. This messed with Priscilla's plan. Elvis had things he wanted to do. There was no romance. They had a friendship. She wanted Elvis. She had a plan. Maybe even her mother helped her. Maybe her mother wanted it as well. I'm not sure about the father's involvement. I'm a bit unsure there. So Elvis goes back to Graceland. He's busy. He does the Frank Sinatra show. He does GI Blues. We've all heard of Juliet Prowse. And he makes some albums with RCA Victor. Busy. It goes back to Anita Wood. Now, I don't know exactly what went on, but they were obviously stayed in contact. Elvis didn't see Priscilla for, I think it was 2 years and 3 months. I don't know the exact time. The next time Elvis saw Priscilla, she was nearly 18. Yes, she visited. Eventually, she did visit Graceland when she was nearly 18. Eventually moving in. Now, what got to that point is not crystal clear. Was it Elvis being persistent? Was it Priscilla being persistent? Was it a bit of both? I hear they were sending each other records, love songs, ballads, rock and roll ballads, like Soldier Boy. She gets to Graceland. Priscilla gets to Graceland. Yeah. Elvis is still living as a single man. When Priscilla moved over, he lived as a single man, I would say from 63, 4 and 5, Elvis was basically single. He wasn't engaged, he wasn't married, they had no kids. She wanted Elvis. She wanted him to marry her. I don't think Priscilla wanted a child. I really don't think she wanted a child. I don't think they were suitable to get married. I think them marrying was a massive mistake. Obviously, we love Lisa Marie, so it's awkward to say. They weren't ready to have a child or get married. The whole relationship was an absolute joke. Priscilla was unfaithful within months of Lisa Marie being born with the dance instructor. Then she does it all again with Mike Stone, the karate champion. Now, I will say this. Once Elvis had caught Priscilla being naughty, he went back to his old ways as well. I always say with Elvis, if he moves on, he's in his mind, he's got a reason. Doesn't matter who the girl is. Could be Linda, could be Ginger Alden, could be other girls, you know. There's always something happens, so he reacts. So with Priscilla, she was unfaithful. With Steve Peck, that, to me, that broke the marriage. There was an 18-month pretend period, a fake fairy tale marriage, where they both put up this facade of happiness. Obviously, they were happy. You know, Elvis was very joyful about having Lisa Marie, but he knew something was wrong. He knew, because she'd been unfaithful. He knew that she wasn't the sweet, innocent girl that, as she had portrayed herself. Something was wrong. There's some beautiful footage of Elvis and Priscilla together with Lisa. Beautiful footage. They look very happy. But behind the smiles is a broken relationship. That's the truth of it, guys. And it's broken by the time you get to Mike Stone, around 72, yeah, they're both being unfaithful, both of them. Priscilla did it secretly for a year, Mike Stone, with a married man who had a pregnant wife and a small daughter. I do think Elvis was seeing people like Susan Henning. This thing about Elvis not sleeping with a woman that had a baby is ridiculous, bullshit. I can think of 3 different women Elvis was seeing that had had children. Now, it might have been true of him as a very young man that he didn't want to date a married woman. Yeah, you know, when he was in his teenage years or early 20s. But when he got older, no, that's completely untrue. Yeah. So the whole thing is a farce. The whole thing is a farce. They have a fake marriage, a fake fairy tale. This is a broken fairy tale. Now, when Elvis is gone, Priscilla's in a position where she can rewrite history, reinvent everything, and fool the public and brainwash the public, trick the public into believing her fantasy story that actually is not true. If Elvis was here, he'd literally laugh at this. He would literally laugh at this. Because it's, to me, in my opinion, it's so far from the truth. So Priscilla, when she first leaves Elvis, of course she portrays herself as poor Victor. But actually, when she first left him, even though she was with Mike Stone, she had dragged away poor Lisa Marie from her father to live with a stranger. Um, she did give up using the name Presley. The divorce settlement was pretty fair. She was happy at first. I think Priscilla hits a point where she realizes that she needs a lot more money to live the lifestyle that she had become accustomed to. I don't know who advised her. Some say it was Robert Kardashian, but everything will suddenly change when she decides she wants more money, a lot more money. Now, that's for a separate show. I'm not going to discuss that now. I wanted to show you guys a quick clip of how sweet and innocent Priscilla was when she first left Elvis. She was quite kind to him, spoke well of him, wanted the world to forgive her for what she had done. But that's for part two. On part two, we're going to show you the change, how Priscilla changed. I'm going to come back in a bit, guys. Let me just click on this. I'm just at home chilling out. Play this for you, then we're going to come back to part two. Okay, guys? Now, and I've come across this Priscilla Presley interview from the 1970s.
I guess most young ladies around the world would think about your marriage as being a kind of storybook, fantasy-type marriage.
And the interviewer is Elliot Mintz. Storybook fantasy. Anyway, let's keep listening.
What was it like, really, to have been married to Elvis Presley?
The only thing that was hard was the fact that he was gone most of the time, and only because of his business, which, of course, you know, he has to do that, too, to make a living.
Let's keep listening.
You go out and go to nightclubs and dance. Was it mainly staying home?
Yes. Mm-hmm. We had our own particular people that we had get-togethers with or whatever, and we kind of had them over every night, and it was like that most of the time. They're still with him, and it's pretty much the same, really, as it was when we were married.
Well, that's it, guys. Hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks a lot. A very innocent, sweet Priscilla. Just after everything changes from this moment. Priscilla wanted the world to be happy with her. It wasn't working out. The world were not happy with how she left Elvis, Mike Stone. Priscilla has a plan. Priscilla has a plan. Everything is going to change. Everything. Okay, guys, I'll be back for part two later. I'm going to get some coffee, wake up a little bit, and I'll post this live so that you can join me on the comment. And we're going to have a bit of a Priscilla Presley day today. Someone has requested that I do some reviews of Priscilla's interviews from the 80s. They're very shocking. They're very shocking. We're going to do that. Thanks, guys. Take care. See you soon.